Hi again. I've got a round here. I'm going to do a Lazy Susan with this one. I've just prepped the board with a layer of white and I'm going to do a swipe today, and the last swipe I showed you with the wet paper towels. Today I'm going to show you a swipe that you can use with these. These are just those swatch cards that you can get from Bunnings. I actually first saw this technique from Julie Cutts. She's the original person who did this. They call it ghost swipe, and so credit where credit's due. Julie is a fantastic acrylic artist and she's done some beautiful swipes. I am nowhere near her talent, but I'll show you today. It's just a different way and you get a slightly different effect that you do with the wet paper towels. I've pre-mixed my colours. I'm going with some pretty different colours today. I thought I'd just really try something different. I've got some white left over here too that I'm going to use, and I've got a tiny little lid that I've got to do for a canister for a gift that I'm going to do as well. So I'll just put a little bit of white on that one. I probably won't swipe this, I'll just do a little ring pour or something on it. I'll just put a little base coat on. I think I've got everything ready. I've got my butane torch. I've got my little bucket of water to wash my hands in, because rather than waste gloves, I'd rather use my hands and then wash them. Some people don't do that because they don't like the feel of the paint, but I do. I'll just quickly cover that so that it's that good consistency that you use for swipes that I showed you in one of my original pours, where you can see when I lift up, you can see, hopefully you can see it's runny, but there's a little trace and then falling. So, and I've done that with all of the paints except for the gold, because as I said before, because the metallic pigments are heavier, I leave that just a little bit, it's a bit thicker in consistency. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to start with some dark colours. I usually do with my Lazy Susans, I think it's a symmetrical thing with my head that I like to swipe up and down. I've seen people do like feather swipes and that too, so I don't know, I'm going to just wing it, and I'm going to try for something like a feather swipe. Never done one before, so let's just see where it goes, because it's nice to try new things. So I'm just going to go with I'll go off the board there, a little bit more dark. This was originally a red and I mixed black with it because I just didn't like the red. It's just a bit too, I don't know, gorish for me. I don't know, I didn't like it. So I'm going to just try to like I said, never done before, don't know how I'm going to go with it. I will hopefully not put too much paint on the board. And I might just try to do like a few, in my head, that's what I'm going to try and do, is maybe just a few feathers. But we'll see what happens. Put my gold on, I do like my gold. Put a little bit more orange there. Okay, so most of the time, not all of these, but most the bigger ones have got like little serrated edges on them, and you can just bend them and they tear, rather than just wasting one. So you can use if you're going to do like a finer swipe. What I didn't get is a paper towel to wipe it onto, but I've got a little pillow pad next to me here, so I'll try that. So I don't know how I'm going to start this. I might actually tear that in half, and yeah, I'm going to start at the bottom. You can't see, but I just wiped. I've got a piddle pad here, and I've just wiped some of it off just so I can use it a couple of times. I don't like how it's running back through itself, but I might use a straw. I'm not overly worried about, see these little bits here, because you can always just get your white and just go over and touch up. The black that I said was black is not black, it's red mixed with black, is throwing off a really nice, a deep maroon. I'm still using the same, I just keep wiping it off. Because they're made of this, it's sort of like it's not cardboard, it is cardboard, but it's got like a little film on it. That one's pretty haddock now. And when you're doing the cardboard and swiping, you're not putting any pressure on. You're basically just laying it on and then just dragging it across. So these bits here, so I'm not particularly worried about those, because once you just sort of, just to try something different. I don't do a lot of negative space type pours, but they do look nice, especially when they're resined. I'll just try to that up a bit there. Not much of a feather look going on, is there? Still, it's pretty. I mean, you can always, and too, when it's dry, I mean, you can always embellish it with using your Posca pens or paint or whatever, acrylic paint, and do your vein, like you could do a lot more of a stem for a feather, and then your lines. So I might just do another one. Heading up this way. Sandra Lett's another artist that she used to do a lot of swipes, very controlled swipes, really brilliant artist. There's so many out there. There's, you know, like I said before, there's Tammy Anderson, Molly's Artistry, she's absolutely brilliant. She does a lot of Dutch pours and abstract. Julie Cutt's beautiful artist. I'm really bad at names. I just can't remember names. That's my sorry. It's not. I don't want to give. You know. I mean, I give credit where credit's due. And there's so many acrylic artists out there creating new and different ways and doing things for us so that we can learn. It's wonderful. I'm not worried about, I've got heaps of paint here. I've got another board next to me that I've got to do another pour on. Just put a little bit more of this purple line on. Just start doing. So see how I've torn it, don't use the torn edge, use this edge. And again, it's just a light drag, you're skimming over the top. Really bad. I'm a lefty, so I'm not as good swiping with my right. I'll give it a try though. Get a new piece. So just gently slide and over. And again, don't worry too much about the tendrils. You can tidy them up either before or after it's dry. I usually do it before it's dry. See how you can see there where the cards I've pressed a little bit. So I'll just sort of gently come back over that because I don't want the board sort of showing through. I just did it again. So hard, yeah, it's really hard to get that pressure. And because I think it's because the card's bent a little bit too, so it's sort of sticking down on one side. So it's the trick is to keep it level. So once they start getting wet, they start bending. So that's probably what I'm doing wrong here. And sometimes you can sort of give it a little bit of so that it's just a nice sort of gentle. Yeah, that slid a bit better then. So with this sort of thing, you don't want to tip it or tilt it at all. I mean, you could if you wanted to. Just getting some of those air bubbles out of there. See, and this here, so you can see that there's a little bit of the colour there. There's just a little bit of a dab there. I just know that if I get a straw, I'll just keep blowing and blowing, and then I'll just completely wreck it. But you can see some of the orange in there, so probably when this is dry, I will get some black and give it more of a feather look. But I'm pretty happy with that. It's just a little bit of and your edges you can always trim it, you can always coat them. Because when you're working with MDF, because you've cut these edges and it's not the flat surface of the MDF has got like a coating on it. So when you cut them and you cut them into rounds, this is quite porous. So it really wants to suck the paint. It's good to just sort of give it a really good coat on the sides. But again, you can touch it up once it's dry. You can come back. And again, run your finger along around the bottom. Just to stop that dripping. Not that it's dripping much. I've just got this little one here that I'm going to do here. I'll I'll do that off camera because it's just a little lid for a canister for someone that they wanted for a Christmas gift. And I'll just touch that and put... So here I've touched it and there's a bit of blue on there from my finger from running it underneath. So I'll just run some white along there. And that MDF will suck that up. I might do that right around that. Around this front part here. Because it really is. And it's warm here too. I'm in Townsville, so it's pretty warm here. So the paint is sort of drying quickly. Anyway, that's the boring part. I'll do another pour in a second. I'll just get this cleaned up and I'll come back and pop you over to the other board and we'll do another different technique. And like I said, you're always welcome to contact me on my Facebook or Instagram and ask to see, you know, how they look finished. Some of them don't make it too finished because I don't like them and then I scrap them. But it's all about, you know, playing and having fun. Like I said before, it's just that freedom to do what you want to do. But this one here will look really nice once it's resined and done, like the feathers. So, yeah. Probably put some glitter in there, knowing me, because I can't resist the glitter. I'll try not to because I like the white. I like the crisp of the white, and I do like when I do black. I like a nice gloss black. But anyway, we'll see where that goes. I can see it all selling in here with that variation of colour. So yeah, we'll see how that finishes up.